Welcome back. My name is David, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to get this data that I have in front of me. It's a total of 3,200 rows, and I work with it with Python. So what is my task? So this data came from LinkedIn, straight from LinkedIn, and it includes everybody I've chatted with um, for I don't know how long, and the dates I've chatted with them. Now, for some people, like this person here, 2002, I've communicated with them twice, once in January and once in April. And for some other folks, I've communicated with them more than just a couple of times. This person I communicated 4 times in June, November of 2024. And my personal task that I wanted to accomplish was I wanted to find out what was the last time I communicated with them. So the latest time. So for this person, 2002, the last time I communicated with them was in April. And then let's pick another person. And for this person, Amir, I communicated with them on the 8th and the 9th. So I wanted to identify that I communicated with Amir. The last time I communicated with him was on April 9th. So just basically getting the max date per URL here. So we're going to do that in Pandas. All right, so how do we do this? The first thing I am going to do is I'm going to get it out of the CSV file and into Pandas. And the quickest, simplest way is using the read clipboard method in Pandas. So we're going to highlight all 3,000 plus rows. We're going to copy them into our clipboard. And then we're going to switch over to Jupyter. And we're going to import pandas as PD. And then we are going to create a variable called df for data frame. And then we are going to call read clipboard. We're not going to pass any parameters to it. We're just going to read it, and then we're going to print our data frame. And as you can tell, we quickly and very easily pulled our 3,000 rows that had two columns, the URLs and the dates. All right, so, and you could tell here, we have 3,251 rows and two columns. Now another method I like to use is df.info just to see what we're working with. So we'll see again the number of rows. We saw that there's no null values. The URLs should be strings, so they're coming in as a data type object. And then a potential issue, or potentially not an issue, is that the dates came in with this UTC value and they are currently being interpreted as strings. They're not being interpreted as dates. So is that going to affect us calculating the max date from each of these URLs? Maybe, maybe not. For now, we're going to try the path of least resistance, and we're just going to attempt to do it without converting these strings into dates. But it's just something to keep in mind. All right, so how we're going to do this? Very, very simple. We're going to create a group object. So we're going to go df.group by, and we're going to group by the URLs column. So let's copy this and put it here. And then once we have our group, we could then calculate the max value of that group simply by grabbing the group and calling the method called max. And that's kind of it. And then we do max.head. You'll see that we're going to get back simply a data frame where the index is the URLs and the column is the dates. And there should only be one date per URL. And how do we verify this? Well, the easiest way is just to bring the data back into our CSV file in a new tab and kind of compare the values and make sure the data is doing what it's supposed to be doing. All right, so how are we going to get the data from this notebook back into the CSV? Well, there is another method called toClipboard, and it's going to grab the data from max, which has our calculated values, and it's gonna shove it into our clipboard. So we run this, and then we're gonna hop back into our pretty CSV file, and we're gonna just make a new tab, paste the data here, and then we're going to well, let's see how many rows we got. Well, we only have 1600 rows, so that's a good sign. But let's just spot check some. So let's go back to this 2002 email address. Remember, I've communicated with them in January, in April, so we should see April on the other tab. So we copy them, we come over here, and April. Okay, that checks out. Let's do another one. Let's check out Amir. Amir was communicated on the 8th and the 9th of April, so we should see the 9th on the second tab. So copy, and the 9th. All right, let's pick one more. Let's pick one that we've communicated multiple times. There you go, Abhishek. We've communicated 4 times. The biggest number here was the 11th of November. So we go back to our data, and the 11th of November. All right, that's it. No, that's it, guys. Just to recap, how did we calculate the max value for each of these URLs? I copied the data from here. I went to Pandas, and I used the read clipboard method to bring it into Pandas. Once we had it in our data frame, we just created a group, and then we calculated the max value. And then to bring it back to our trusty CSV file, the method to clipboard did the job. Thank you for watching. Until next time.